Alright, hey guys, I'm the Gamer here, and I'm back with another collection video. And today, guys, I'm finally going to do it. I'm finally going to show you my entire PlayStation 2 video game collection. Now, as some of you who have watched the channel for a while should know, the PlayStation 2 is my number one favourite game console of all time. I absolutely love that system, and it's a console that will always have a special place in my heart because it was my first ever video game console. Originally it was my dad's, the PS2 Slim, which I still own to this very day. And originally was my dad's, and he brought it sometime in early 2005. And I know that because I had the box for it right up there, and inside is actually a receipt of when my dad brought it. And I forgot like what store he brought it from. I think it was like Game or something, but it had a date on it. And the date was like January 11th, 2005. Yeah, I think he probably had like a fat PS2 like years before, but he brought a PS2 Slim in early 2005, and then like years later in 2010 he gave it to me when he was no longer playing with it. And ever since then, ever since 2010, I've brought a bunch of games for the PS2. I have sold a few games here and there. I did have, some games a long time ago which I don't own anymore, but for the most part I pretty much kept all the games that I brought over the years. And the PlayStation 2 was the console that got me into retro games as well. I started buying not only PS2 games, but PS1 games as well, because of the backwards compatibility. Ever since I was like 8 years old, I've been collecting games for a really long time, like over a decade. But yeah, it's a system that will always mean a lot to me. It's my favourite console of all time. It has such an amazing library of games on it. And today I'm going to show you all the games I own for my number one favourite game system. Now, in total, I really should have counted before I actually start recording, but in total, I would say I have roughly about maybe 60 or so PS2 games. The last time I counted my PS2 game collection, I had about like 56, 57, I think, and I know that I've gotten only a handful of games since then because I haven't really bought many PS2 stuff recently. But yeah, but if I was to guess of how many PS2 games I have, I would say roughly about like 60 games. So I've decided to put the games in order of genre on the shelf. So like, for example, we have first-person shooters here, we've got third-person games, platformers, racing games, fighting games, open world, sports, etc. So yeah, so let's go through each game one by one. I won't go into like too much detail on each of the games. If I have something to say about them, then I will, but for the most part, I'm just gonna like pick out each game and just, say what the title is and just move on. But if I do have something to say about it, like an interesting story or whatever, then I'll say it pretty much. But yeah, so let's start things off with the first-person shooters, which is the first lot of games right here. So starting off, we have Call of Duty Finest Hour. This game right here is interesting because this was the first ever Call of Duty to ever be released on consoles. Yeah, this was on the Xbox and GameCube, as well as of course PS2, and yeah, this was back in 2004, so only 1 year after the first COD came out. And yeah, so quite an interesting bit of Call of Duty history right here. I mean, it's an okay game. I mean, like, I didn't really particularly enjoy it, to be honest. I mean, it kind of had like a very sluggish frame rate, at least on PS2. But yeah, but it's interesting to have, just the fact that it is the first Call of Duty on consoles, and not to mention it was a console exclusive as well. And next up we have Call of Duty World at War Final Fronts. This was a PS2 exclusive version of World at War that was completely different from the 360 and PS3 versions. It was its own game pretty much, released exclusively for the PS2. Red Faction, which was developed by Volition, same guys who did Saints Row. Quake 3 Revolution, this is obviously the PS2 version of Quake 3. The original game was Quake 3 Arena, but this PS2 version was called Revolution. I don't know what the difference is. I'm pretty sure it's the same game as Quake 3 Arena, but if there are any differences between Quake 3 Revolution and Arena, then just let me know in the comments. Then we've got the Time Splitters trilogy, so we've got the original right here, and then Time Splitters 2, and Time Splitters Future Perfect. There's going to be a new Time Splitters game coming out hopefully within the next few years, because earlier this year, Deep Silver announced that they were going to reform Free Radical, who were the original developers of Time Splitters, and yeah, they're going to be working on a new Time Splitters game. So finally, after like nearly 2 decades, Time Splitters is finally going to be coming back. And the last FPS I have for the PS2 is Black. This is the only PS2 game I have that's the Platinum release instead of the Standard Edition. Usually I try to just get the Standard Edition because, like, you know, the Platinum games has a completely different color scheme on the spine, so it just makes it stand out too much in my collection. So that's why I only typically get just the Standard Editions. But I didn't buy this. My nan actually got it for me for Christmas one year, so yeah, that's the reason. If I was going to buy it, I would definitely buy like a Standard Edition copy of Black, 100%. Right, then we have third-person shooters. So we've got 50 Cent Bulletproof, Gun, one of my all-time favourite games. Really underrated, that is. Max Payne, Max Payne 2, Fall of Max Payne, Operation Winback, which is kind of half first-person shooter and kind of like stealth game in a way, made by the same guys who did Dynasty Wars. Yeah, that was originally an N64 game, and they got a PS2 port later on. And then that moves on to stealth games. I only got 3 for the PS2. So we've got Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, the original one, Hitman 2, Silent Assassin, Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, one of the must-own games for the PS2. Although I've barely played it, to be honest. I mean, I think I played it once. That was it. I've only actually got like 2 Metal Gear Solid games in my entire game collection. I've got that, and I've got Phantom Pain for the PS4, which my dad gave me. And then we've got 3D action games, which is pretty much just the Spider-Man games right here. So we've got the first one, obviously based on the first movie, Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2. And Spider-Man 3. Yeah, there are other Spider-Man games for the PS2, like Ultimate Spider-Man and Friend or Foe, but I've only got those 3 at the moment. And then this is the only beat-em-up game I own for the PS2, The Warriors, made by Rockstar, based on the film of the same name. And then we've got 3D hack and slash games, which is just Dynasty Warriors. So we've got Dynasty Warriors 2, Dynasty Warriors 3, Dynasty Warriors 4, and Dynasty Warriors 5. And then next we have platforming games. So we've got the Rayman 10th Anniversary Collection, which has Rayman M, Revolution, and Rayman 3 on it. And these all 3 games come on, you know, 3 discs right there. This is the only Rayman game I own in my collection, by the way. Next we have Shadow the Hedgehog, and then that brings us to all the Sonic games I own for the PS2. Sonic Heroes, Sonic Mega Collection Plus, which has, you know, all the classic Mega Drive games on it, as well as 6 Game Gear games. Sonic Gems Collection, which has some of the more obscure Sonic games on it, like Sonic CD, Sonic the Fighters, Sonic R, and some random Game Gear stuff. Sonic Riders, racing game with hoverboards. Sonic Riders Zero Gravity, sequel. And then we have compilation titles. So we've got Sega Mega Drive Collection, which is of course a compilation of Mega Drive games. There's 27 on this one. Then we got Atari Anthology, which is a compilation of Atari 2600 and a few classic Atari arcade games from like the 80s. And then we've got Space Invaders Anniversary, which has a collection of random versions of Space Invaders on it. Next up we have the Lego games. So we've got Lego Racers 2. I have got the original Lego Racers for the original PlayStation. Lego Island Extreme Stunts. This was the 3rd Lego Island game. I've got the first 2 on PC and also the second one on PlayStation. Lego Star Wars the video game, first Traveller's Tales Lego game. Then we've got the sequel, Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. which is my favourite Lego game of all time. And we've got just a random one-off game here, Theme Park World for the PS2. We've got the PS1 version of that as well. And then next up, we've got racing games. So we've got 2 Gran Turismos for the system, Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec, and Gran Turismo 4, which is one of the few PS2 games that supports 1080i resolution. Ridge Racer 5, 3 Midnight Clubs, Midnight Club Street Racing, Midnight Club 2, Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition. There is another version of this called Dub Edition Remix. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2, this is the only Need for Speed. Well, actually, it's not the only Need for Speed I own for PS2, it's the only one I have that comes in a case. Burnout 2, Point of Impact. Burnout 3 Takedown. Burnout Dominator. Smuggler's Run, which is only really kind of a racing game. And Crazy Taxi, which again is only really kind of a racing game. I mean it's not, but I didn't really know where else to put it, so that's why it's with all my racing games. Alright, next we've got light gun games. So we've got Vampire Knight, Virtual Cop Elite Edition, which is a remaster of Virtual Cop 1 and 2. Time Crisis 2, the best Time Crisis game in my opinion. That and Time Crisis 3, both of these games are fucking amazing. Crisis Zone. Then moves on to fighting games. We've got Tekken Tag Tournament, the original. Tekken 4, which does include the bonus demo disc, as you can see. Which unfortunately doesn't have any actual playable demos on it, it's just got trailers. Tekken 5. Hyper Street Fighter 2, the Anniversary Edition, which I believe this was a... Was this a PS2 exclusive? This may have gone an arcade version, but yeah, it's another version of a Street Fighter 2. Virtua Fighter 4. Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution, which I think has Virtua Fighter 10th Anniversary on it as well. Star Wars Jedi Starfighter, just a random one-off game, didn't know where else to put it. Guitar Hero, the original one. I don't actually have the guitar for that, so I have no choice but to play with a controller. And then we move on to the open world games. So we've got The Getaway, which has all the original stickers on it, as you can see. Getaway Black Monday. We've got the Grand Theft Autos, all of them released for the PS2. We've got Grand Theft Auto 3, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Grand Theft Auto Liberty Stories, which was originally a PSP game, and Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories, which again was also a PSP game originally. Driver Free, or Drive Freer, that's how it's spelled. Driver Parallel Lines. Stuntman, which I know isn't an open world game, but I decided to put it next to the Drivers because it's the same developer. Stuntman Ignition. Simpsons Road Rage, which is a straight up Crazy Taxi clone. In fact, I think they actually sued. I think Sega actually sued the guys who made Road Rage because it was so similar to Crazy Taxi. Simpsons Hit Run, which of course is an absolute classic. And then we move on to sports games. So we've got FIFA's right here, just a bunch of random ones. FIFA 2001, FIFA Football 2004, FIFA Football 2005, FIFA 06, which actually has a playable version of the original FIFA International Soccer on there. The original Mega Drive version is actually playable on that. Pro Evolution Soccer 2, which this is PES, the second PES game. Brian Laura International Cricket 2005. It's one of the games I got for free at a car boot sale a few years back. Tiger Woods PGA Tour 06, which is the only golf game I own. Again, I got that free at car boot sale. Virtual Tennis 2. Quite like my tennis games. Top Spin. And then we have extreme sports games. So we've got SSX. I think I've got all the SSXs for PS2. SSX Tricky. SSX Free. And SSX on Tour. And then this is a game I got recently. This is actually the most recent game I brought for the PS2. Surfing H3O. Haven't even played it yet. And we've got all the Tony Hawks for the PS2, except for Downhill Jam. That's the only one I'm missing. But I've got all the mainline ones for PS2. So we've got Pro Skater 3 right here, which is my favourite game of all time. Which is game will be turning 20 years old, November. I think it's November, either that or late October. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4. Tony Hawk's Underground. Tony Hawk's Underground 2. Tony Hawk's American Wasteland. Tony Hawk's Project 8. Tony Hawk's Proving Ground. And I've got all the Activision 02 spin-off games right here. So we've got Sean Palmer's Pro Snowboarder. Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX 2. I've got the original for PS1. Kelly Slater's Pro Surfer, which I've also got for the Xbox. Wakeboarding Unleashed featuring Sean Murray. Oh jeez. And Disney's Extreme Skate Adventure. Basically Tony Hawk's Pro Skater with Disney characters. That's all the PS2 games I have on my shelf, and then I've just got 3 random games right here, which unfortunately I can't put with the rest of my games because there's no room on the shelf. But yeah, these are just 3 random games. So I've got a disc-only copy of Need for Speed Carbon right here. I did have the case and manual for this when I first bought it. I believe I got this at a charity shop a long time ago, but for some reason I've only got the disc now. But I swear I had at least the case for that when I first bought it. Got a random WWF game here, SmackDown Just Bring It. This is the game that has Fred Durst as an unlockable playable character in it. And last but not least, I've got my one and only import game for the PS2, Cool Borders Code Alien, which is a Japanese only game. Alright, so there you have it. That is my entire PlayStation 2 game collection. My arm freaking hurts after pulling out all those games. But yeah, so anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what's your favourite games for the PS2. I'll be curious to know. My favourite games for the console would definitely have to be Pro Skater 3, that's my favourite game of all time. Lego Star Wars 2, oh, there's so many. Dynasty Warriors 3, pretty much all the GTAs, Time Crisis. I mean, there's just so many, man. There's so many great games for the PS2. But yeah, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, please like, subscribe, and peace.